Hello friends, today I would like to discuss the mechanism behind conflicts and wars in Middle East. We can sum the reasons behind it under 5 headings. First, resource. Second, low economic development. Third, authoritarianism. Fourth, intolerance against ethnic and religious minorities. And fifth, foreign interferences. Firstly, I will explain the headings in detail, and finally I will present the mechanism causing conflicts and wars in Middle East. Resource trends are fundamental source of the Middle East economies. To illustrate, 45% of Iraq's GDP consists of resource trends. For Kuwait, it is 43. For Saudi Arabia and Oman, it is 29. For Syria and Qatar, it is 21. For Iran and United Arab Emirates, it is 18. For Egypt, it is 7. For Bahrain, it is 5. For Yemen, it is 3. For Jordan, Turkey, Israel and Lebanon, it is less than 1%. As you can see from the list, the Middle East economies are mostly dominated by resource trends, such as oil, natural gas and mineral resources. It has been concluded by economists that resource trends stood economic growth. The reason behind this named Dutch disease by Economist Journal following the difficulties within the Dutch economy during the period of 1977. Abundances of money acquired from resource trends result in an overvalued national currency, which increases imports, decreases exports, and weakens domestic sector. As a consequence of the weak domestic sector, growth slows and resource rents cause low economic development. After this situation occurred in other economies, it was referred to as a research curse by economists. It was later concluded that not only for development but also for democracy, research trends are a curse. Governments of the resource abundant countries are likely to become rentier state, which means countries derive their income from sources other than manufacturing, such as natural resources or foreign aid. Due to economies of rentier states being state-driven, civil societies does not have the opportunity to strengthen in this environment. The weakness of civil society does not constitute a check and balance mechanism. Lack of a check and balance mechanism brings with it non-transparent governments, and these governments may establish a repression state. The repression state empowers police and army forces by using resource trends. Then, with the help of this power, the government suppresses society and establishes authoritarian regimes. Intolerance against ethnic and religious minorities is another factor behind the instability and wars in Middle East. Due to authoritarian regimes being illegitimate, to gain support from the majority, they oppress or persecute ethnic and religious minorities by using polarization within the society. For instance, Syria did not provide ID card to Kurds in order to exclude them from public services. Furthermore, Saddam Hussein carried out Halabja massacre against Kurds, which resulted in 5,000 deaths. During the civil war in Syria and Iraq, many Yazidis were enslaved and massacred, so they had to flee their motherland. So the situation for Christians is not so different. In the early times of the 19th century, the Christian population in Middle East were about 20%, whereas today it's only about 3 or 4%. So, what about tolerance against Muslim minorities? It's not so different than the situation of non-Muslims. Saudi Arabia's attacks on Yemen and tension between Saudi Arabia and Iran links Shia and Sunni division. Has this intolerance arisen because of Islam? The occupation of Israel on Palestine is proof that religion is not the source of the intolerance. The Middle East is one of the natural resource abundant regions on the earth, and it's clear that beneath all this intolerance and hate, there is only the greed for more resources. Another reason behind instability and conflicts in the Middle East is foreign interferences. For instance, the attacks of the USA on Iraq in 2003 and the presence of the USA, Russia and Turkey in Syria can be classified under these interferences. These interferences are also aiming to capture natural resources and power in the Middle East. Although they claim that they are bringing democracy or stability, it is mostly for getting a cut of natural resources. The polarization that authoritarian leaders create to stay in power inside and outside of the country may cause unrest within the country and make the country vulnerable to external interferences. The mechanism behind conflicts and wars in the Middle East works as follows. Resurgence causes low economic development. Low economic development leads to rentier and repression state, and countries become authoritarian regimes. Authoritarian regimes generally exclude some minorities, which causes public unrest within the country. Public unrest brings conflict and makes the country vulnerable to foreign interferences. Foreign countries may claim that they are bringing democracy and stability to these countries, yet their aim is also capturing natural resources of these countries. Middle East countries are not only resource-rich ones. There are some resource-rich countries such as Norway, Canada and Australia has not been affected from researchers. Strong institutions, civil societies and democratic cultures of these countries prevent governments using resource rents to establish authoritarian regimes. These countries use their resource rents to strengthen their public services, such as education and health. If resource rents can be used properly, it will be a blessing instead of a curse. For further information, you may check the references. Thank you for watching.